Hello, and welcome to today's episode of Date in a Blink, where we're hosting Ned and Madelyn for a Blink date. Modern dating sucks, but it doesn't have to. Here on the Date in a Blink podcast, you'll listen in on 10-minute voice-only speed dates between strangers. The experience is designed to move people beyond mindless swiping and marathon messaging. Our position on online dating? It's time to stop collecting pen pals and start, going on actual dates.
Online dating? That actually involves dating? Is that even a thing anymore? But for real, dating should be fun. We hope listening in inspires y'all to try new ways of meeting people. Tune in every other week to hear a new couple go on a date. In between, we'll talk to relationship experts about how the date went and what we can learn from it.
Will our handpicked podcast matches find love on these Blink dates? Or will they say goodbye to each other after 10 minutes and never look back? Tune in to find out.
Before we jump into today's Blink date, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain a bit. It's totally free, and Anchor will distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and lots of other podcasting platforms. Not only that, but it has creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. It also lets you make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make your podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Today's date prompt comes from Modest Notes, a brand creating products for adults to improve their communication skills for the purpose of developing more meaningful, intimate relationships. Visit www.modestnotes.com to check out their decks. So we are here on Date in a Blink today with Ned and Madelyn. I'm going to let you two dive in, but in case it's helpful to get the conversation started, I'm going to leave you with this question. What unique feature would your ideal home have?
Oh wow! Do you have any ideas?
I already do. Yeah. Yeah, it's very unique. So I'm like 6 foot. I'm very tall, and one of my dreams of like owning my own home or being able to like renovate my own space is that I really want to be able to have a kitchen with like high countertops.
Mm-hmm.
If you're like not tall, it probably doesn't make sense. But honestly, like because I cook all the time. Like I'm such a cooker. And you're always like bending down really low in like normal sized kitchens because the benches are low. So I would definitely have like higher kitchen tops.
I think the benches are still done on like the average 1970s woman's height for not good reasons. And so they're all quite low.
Yeah, they're very low. What about you?
I'm trying to think of something useful. The thing that comes to mind is a secret door. I've always wanted like a bookcase that you pull a book and it goes into a secret room. I don't know what I would use it for, but I hope the like gimmick value would hold every time I have a new guest.
Yeah. That's very cool. I love the idea. I love the idea of a secret room and like all those different like little nooks and crannies and shit, but then I always just think of like if there was a fire or like an emergency and you're like, how do we get out of these spaces?
That is a very sensible concern, actually. Yeah.
Sorry. Much too sensible. Let's stay in the fantasy. I love it. It's good. So where in the world are you?
Okay. So can you guess my accent?
You sound Kiwi.
That's interesting. Last time I was in the US, it was ages ago. So it was like just after Lord of the Rings and like Flight of the Conchords time. And people were guessing either British or Kiwi. And I was fascinated. I'm Australian, but also Kiwi is probably the safer guess if you come across someone you're not sure about there.
Yeah, well, you had like in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, is this person from the UK? And then I was like, oh, okay, no, they sound Australian. But then some of the, like one word you said before, it sounded like you might have like a bit of like a Kiwi accent, like you'd come from New Zealand and then been living in Australia for a while. But yeah, if you're fully Australian, like.
Excellent. I like the mystery. What about you? Where are you?
I'm always told that my voice is very, like my accent's very ambiguous. So do you know where I'm from?
No.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I'm in Australia as well.
Ah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm in
fully Australian.
Ah.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, you have like a slightly, I don't know, American twinge. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed necessarily.
Yeah. No, that's funny. I'm not American at all. I just like, I don't know. I have ADHD, and so I often like subconsciously mimic people's accents, and I find like I have quite a few like American or international friends, and so I think I'm kind of I mirror them a lot unintentionally.
Yeah. I think Australians are more prone to it as well, like losing accents. I know when I go overseas, I have a bit less of an accent, and if I'm especially if I'm drinking around people who have like a strong British or American accent, I can feel myself picking it up, and I'm like, oh no.
100%. What, like, I don't know what that is, but yeah, very much so.
Yeah, yeah.
This is just such the strangest experience. Have you ever done this before?
No, I haven't. I like the concept. Like, I feel like appearance is not the most important thing in dating, so this is interesting. Yeah.
What's normally your dating sort of thing? Are you an online dater? Are you more like a old school, like meet people in person type? Like,
yeah, I'm not sure. Like, it isn't until fairly recently that I've tried to do just dating, I guess. It's always been like people I knew in my friends group, and I think it's a different experience to meet people kind of completely fresh and not have them know anything about you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you?
I feel like I have so much social anxiety, and so going up to people in like a bar or a party or something like that, that's just not, like, I'm never gonna do that, you know? And so like I'm always just online dating and meeting people through online or on apps or like on Instagram or something like that.
Yeah, I think it helps filter people a bit, at least if you get like some information about them that isn't just a picture. But yeah, no, I wouldn't approach a stranger in a bar. No, I don't think so.
No, not at all. I did have one question I wanted to ask you that I came prepared with, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
no. What's something that you like learned about yourself during lockdown? Like, what was maybe like a revelation or like I don't know, a new, not necessarily like a huge revelation, like not but just like something that you learned about yourself during like the last 2 years?
And that's a good question. Because I knew I didn't need that much human interaction, so like it wasn't an easy time, but I don't think I didn't have as difficult a time as some of my friends did with the isolation. I think I found I actually like enjoy creative projects. I think without the pressure to like be out and doing things, I actually completed some stuff. I was like, oh wow. Like if I have time for things, I can, paint some interesting paint pots or like just get up to a few little interesting things, and I quite like enjoy that.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was alone for most of the last 2 years. I live alone.
Oh yeah, that's a lot harder.
Well, I actually really loved it, honestly.
Oh.
I don't know how anybody managed to do like all of the lockdowns with like living with strangers or other people. I think it just would have been way too much for me. And I really enjoyed kind of hibernating and having that like so much spare time to just think about things and look after like all of my plants. And yeah, I learned like a lot about my gender and my sexuality and
Isn't that the lockdown experience?
Totally, right? Like everyone comes out of lockdown, they're like, oh, I'm gay or like I'm queer, and
this is who I am when I'm not being observed by others every day.
Totally.
Yes.
I also got my ADHD diagnosis, which was a huge one for me, and that totally like flipped my life upside down. So I just had like quite a few, I guess, like pivotal things happen that was just so incredible. Like I feel very fortunate to have been able to, I know it sounds weird, right, to be like thankful for like COVID in a way, but like it really was that time away from the rest of the world and having to perform, and it was like, okay, cool, this is like, yeah, this is who I really am. So yeah. Do you live with people? Like were you alone or with housemates?
Yeah, so I moved during, was it between the first lockdown or around then? And I moved in with 3 other people, 2 of whom I've known for like 10 years or more. And that was actually amazing. So we had each other. There were enough people to talk to, but we've all known each other for a long time. So we didn't get into any like weird arguments or annoyances.
Yeah.
And because we knew the pandemic was around, we like got a place with a little bit of outside space. So we didn't, go stir crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely the one thing, like for me, looking for a new place, I'm like, I need to get a balcony. It's like, I have, like, my apartment is a jungle. I have like over 50 plants, but it's just, really would love to be able to sit outside. And I was very jealous of my friends that had like a balcony or a yard or something during lockdown, because I don't know, you can't like, I don't know, going to the park is nice, but it's still like being able to be at home and in the sun, I think, is a very beautiful thing, you know.
Yeah, it makes a difference. I definitely acquired a lot of plants as well. I've just been slowly kind of slipping them into my housemate's space. There's like one in the bathtub right now. I'm hoping they don't notice.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How many do you have?
Not as many as you, but I'd say at least a good 20.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's still pretty solid. I feel like to be like getting into plants, that's a good solid number.
I'm surprised I've kept as many alive as I have, because I'm not good at like thoroughly researching before I do something. I'm like, I'll just do trial and error, and the poor plant can suffer the consequences. But it's worked out okay.
I think the good thing with plants is like more times than not, like unless you've really messed it up, they do bounce back, right? Like you can just give them a little bit more love and like reposition them. And I mean, unless you've bought, like, I saw this thing on a Facebook group the other day.
At this point in the date, I jumped in to let them know that their date had ended and let them say their farewells. We hope you all enjoyed hearing Madelyn and Ned's date today. One of the things we love about hosting dates is helping people move from the 2-dimensional world of profiles to the 3-dimensional world of actual dates. If you want to hear how daters explore how to be authentic in their dating life, you have to check out the Speaking of Dating Profiles series on the Speaking of Humanity podcast hosted by Nahama Robinson. We hope you love it as much as we do. This conversation was so much fun to listen to. I'm envisioning jungle apartments with secret doors and incredible kitchens. Talk about a fantasy land. I'm imagining another date where Ned and Madelyn talk about plant babies, but maybe that's just me. Tune in to the next episode where we'll chat with an expert about the date and reveal whether Ned and Madelyn wanted to continue their conversation. That's all we've got for you today. Shoot us a message on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at @TheBlinkDate or at @DateInABlink to let us know what you think. If you want to try voice-first speed dating from the comfort of your home, download the Blink Date app today. You can also sign up to participate in Date in a Blink by visiting our website at www.theblinkdate.com. In the meantime, thanks for joining us for this episode. We hope you enjoyed listening and look forward to talking with you again next time.